What in the bald-headed hell is going on right now? And where is Roger? What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right, so like the thumbnail would indicate, Roger is actually a part of this video. I just saw some other ridiculousness online, and I was like, let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this, hear them out.
It's Brittany, bitch.
It's Brittany, bitch.
No, the hell it's not. I know Brittany. This is blasphemy right now. Madam, if that is your name.
In the morning. Hey, how y'all doing out there? Like, is it okay?
Okay. I have no idea what you just said. I heard good morning, and then I heard blah, 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 blah. I feel like I'm listening to Barry Off-White right now. I feel like I'm talking to the kind of person that I definitely know their trailer would smell like old cigarette butts. I feel like you're the type of person that the ashtray in your car, which your car is old enough that it still has an ashtray, is full of cigarette butts. And I'm not comfortable with the level of baldidity going on right now. I feel like we have some options. We could go cul-de-sac or koala, because if we go cul-de-sac, we're gonna need to tighten it up a little bit. If we go koala, you can keep it, but it's gonna have to be a little shorter. The way it stands right now, turn around, because maybe we can do the Hulk Hogan. I feel like we could get away with the Hulk Hogan.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Either way, my scalp is getting cold just looking at you.
Seem kind of raw. Weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have no idea what you're saying. No idea at all. I really don't have any idea. I feel like what's going on right here is messing with my dysphoria, and I don't even suffer from dysphoria.
Anyways, good morning, motherfuckers.
Okay, I understood that. Top of the morning, milady.
How y'all doing? Yeah, no, I didn't
I've been better.
even bother to cover my head up. I don't give a f-
Girl, we noticed. Even if I never met you before, I would not be like, did she decide not to cover up her head today? I would hope that you usually cover up your head. I am not at all comfortable with what's going on right now.
Kiss my fucking trans ass, okay?
Okay, I was so uncomfortable with you being bald like that I took the liberty of putting on a wig myself. Because I'll be damned if I'm gonna make a trans video and nobody's gonna be wearing a wig. I don't love it either, but I feel like one of us should have something on our head. And the other thing is, this wig was so quick to put on, and I'm sure yours can't be much better quality than this, but I don't know how you had time to do your eyeshadow and then could not be bothered to put on a wig. This was just, well, it's almost like my hat. I don't even have to, well, that just looks ridiculous.
Don't care today, it's morning. Trans girls don't always look perfect.
I can't help but feel like there is a middle ground between perfect and what I'm looking at now. And I feel like if you're gonna call yourself a woman, you can do a little better than this. Anyway, this is supposed to be a Roger video. Where's Roger? Okay, you're definitely not Roger. I feel like we got better and worse at the same time, and I'm not exactly sure how that happened.
A lot of people ask me,
What bathroom do it go to? A lot of people ask me what's going on. A lot of people ask me what I'm going through. A lot of people ask me what I'm supposed to be. A lot of people ask me, what bathroom do it go to? I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm so tired of these bearded ladies. It really has started to get to me. It's like either be trans or don't. But all this, I don't even know what's going on with that top. And don't think I'm not onto you with putting the text bubble right over your waist like that. You're insecure about your belly. I know what's going on there. And you know what? Tighten it up, lady, if that's what you're supposed to be.
do trans and non-binary people get along?
Okay, I didn't know that's where you were going with that. I don't particularly care, but I'll hear you out just a little more.
Simply put, every community has its agreements and disagreements.
Okay, so I wouldn't really go community on this as much as I'd go society on it. And society isn't having it, girl. Can you please go do something with yourself? I'm so tired of people like this. I have to be honest. I'm just showing you guys because I don't think you guys understand the level that's still on TikTok right now, which they're talking about shutting TikTok down. And I can't wait for them to, because these people absolutely thrive thrive on that platform.
but we're stronger together, and
You look plenty strong on your own, to be honest, sir.
there's room for everybody.
I'm feeling that less and less. I'm feeling like a lot of people need to go back in the closet. I know that I'm probably the wrong person to say that, but I think that that closet door is a little too wide open and we need to shut it altogether. 8-year-old me was right. There are monsters in the closet.
Let's break this down further with my friend Eden.
Oh, can't wait to meet Eden. Girl, don't do that to me. We done went from bad to worst to worst. Show up out here looking like Deputy Dog's kid sister. And I'll ask the question again. What bathroom do I go to?
Lately, we've been seeing trans people disagree about who is trans enough.
You're not trans enough, for sure. The last girl barely had a chance. Bald-headed Brittany, I would say, is actually winning this competition so far, but it ain't saying much.
Who our enemies are.
With the 3 of you that I've gone through so far, I would say yourselves are the enemy.
And who deserves to represent us.
I don't know that we need this represented.
As a note, not all trans people identify as non-binary, and not all non-binary people identify as trans.
I think everybody's past the point of really caring anymore. I'm gonna let you go on because maybe the home audience wants to hear you, but I'm kind of over it.
Despite this, conservatives discriminate against us all the same.
I don't think it's discrimination, and I don't think it's just conservatives at this point.
It's easy for trans women and men to feel that non-binary people are appropriating trans identity and experiences.
You are, and you know things are bad because I was actually relieved to see you come back on the screen.
And for non-binary people to feel that trans women and men are upholding the binary.
The entire world is upholding the binary. You can continue to do this for as long as you feel you need to, but like I already said, we're all pretty much over it.
These mindsets come from a place of internalized transphobia, as well as scarcity.
So,
Girl, I already told you stop doing that to me. Gotta announce yourself before you're gonna come on the screen. You're not exactly easy on the eyes. And speaking of eyes, what is going on with your eye makeup? This is horrible. Can we do nothing right anymore?
can trans and non-binary people get along?
I don't know. Talk to them and figure it out.
I hope we can.
Well, I don't know how you're going to get along with them when you're getting on my nerves, but maybe they're more tolerant. I don't think so, though. See, and I'm kind of doing this for that reason because I think you need to understand that what these people are talking about is the fact that trans people, which I'm usually talking about, transsexual people, are not having this. They are not the same. And I want to make that very clear. Even though I'm having fun with it, and I will have fun with it until they're done talking, the truth is these people are not trans. That first one, I guess, maybe is trying to be or whatever, Trailer Park Barbie or whatever she's supposed to be, but this is everything that's wrong with the community right now, and people are talking about separating the LGB from the TQ, and it's something I've talked about too, and these people are what we don't want or need in the community, and this is the Q. This isn't the T, even though sometimes they'll say they're T. They're not the T at all. They're not the T, and they're not the T. So I don't know what they're trying to do with this video other than just remind us all why society in general is pushing this out. That's what's happening right now, is it's getting pushed all the way out.
Because together, we are stronger.
Again, I think you're strong enough on your own. It looks like that tight little monkey body strength.
It is important for trans and non-binary people to get to know each other's stories.
I'm about tired of stories.
And to celebrate each other's unique and shared experiences.
Yeah.
We need to recognize how capitalism impacts how we see and show for each other.
I really don't think capitalism is the problem.
And check our biases and insecurities.
No. Why is it these people talk like they're the healthiest people in the world? I feel like I'm being gaslit right now. Because why are these people that are clearly not on straight trying to tell the rest of us how society should work or how things should go? That's what I really don't get about this, is I don't know how this is an actual thing. I mean, everything about this person is still a man. The only thing is just earrings, the dress, and the fact that they're wearing eye makeup. Maybe they're wearing a little foundation. I don't know, but even men will wear tinted moisturizer sometimes, so it's not a thing like that. But I don't really know why these people will try to talk to us almost like they're the sane part of the world. And it just makes you feel like you're in crazy town, because it's like, am I crazy or are they crazy? Because they're talking to me like they're the voice of reason, and I just can't buy it.
About each other's identities and expressions.
We've all had it with identities and expressions. You want to know the truth about identity and expression? Identity can be your own. It can happen in your head completely, devoid of the rest of us. We do not need to be a part of your identity. That part you can leave us out of. Feel free to express yourself however you want. Just don't try to make us learn special pronouns or act like it's really a thing. Because I'll tell you what most of us do when we see you. We try our best to pretend that you're normal, and we don't want to know the backstory. We just kind of want to phase out and be like, okay, I have to see this person in the world, and I don't mind that they're here, but they're not anybody I want to get to know or I care about in any substantive way. So why can't you just accept that, and everything else can happen internally? Like, we're fine with your expression, but your identity, that can be your own. That part we don't need to be involved in.
Instead of asking who gets a seat at the table,
Nobody's worried about who gets a seat at the table. It's about who's coming into the bathrooms with people like you.
consider asking if we can add more seats to the table.
Okay, and if you're gonna insist on talking about the table, how about I just don't want you at my table?
And you can't sit with us.
How about I'd rather eat alone?
Or if the table is even worth sitting at.
You can't sit with us!
It's not. Sit over there. Trust me, do not sit at my table. I don't care if it's because you think it's not worth it or if it just doesn't look welcoming. You don't want to sit here. I'm bitter. I'm old. I don't need company. Take care, girl. Do you, boo. Au revoir, Pee-wee. Au revoir.
There's enough for everyone, and we all deserve to be seen, heard, and respected.
Okay, seen and heard, I don't think so. Respected, sure, why not? Roger, well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes after what we've just been through? It's so nice to see just a regular guy again. How are you since the hurricane, Roger?
We are now 1 year into witnessing genocide.
You know, Roger, you leave on bullshit and you come back in on bullshit. Do we have to start with the genocide right away? Can't you just tell us how things have been since the hurricane?
Live streamed on our phones.
What platform? Because it might be more interesting to watch than one of your rants. And to think, I was excited to see you for a minute there. All right, so if you guys are new to this channel, you may recognize this particular person from the multiple meltdowns they've had on TikTok.
And I really need an EpiPen. I don't know what to do. Please. I need your help.
I need help, y'all.
You don't get to choose between me and the bear.
Do not send Clarkson Lawson to my page.
And that's where we originally got to know them. He's a regular character around here. They go by Aurora, Birdie, azlan.t.bird. We refer to them as Roger. If you guys want to see more videos of them, I'll link the entire series down below in the description box. So check that out when you're done with this one. In the meantime, I'm just going to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me on the algorithm. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We're almost to 60,000. When you hit the subscribe, click the bell and make sure that you're subscribed to all notifications so you know whenever I upload.
We are also a week and a half into a devastating storm where people are left to die because our country is obsessed with sending the money to Israel instead to kill more people.
Must we harp on that, Roger? Can't we just be happy that you're still with us?
If there's anything that I hope that people have learned over this last year, it's that we are the ones who are going to save each other. That liberation is the only way out. That mutual aid and community is the only way through. Our government is not going to save us. Big old organizations are not going to save us. What's going to save us is the connections that we have with each other, with our neighbors across the world, each other. I hope that after this year, you are changed. I hope that this year has radicalized you. I hope that with every action that you take, you think of Palestine. I hope that with every action that you take, you think of ways where you can build network, where you can build community, where you can build connection. and just wipe out individualism. And the only way out is through together.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not exactly happy you're back, Roger. It doesn't seem like it's changed much. I thought life-threatening situations were supposed to change people for the better. I don't feel like that happened in this case. But he said a lot. You know, it was a lot of the same Roger bullshit where it's like everything else in mutual aid, which is just him mooching. And then somebody commented, large-scale organizations are the only way to have effective connections. And so let's hear Roger out.
As somebody who is currently in the disaster zone for Hurricane Helene, let me just be the first person to tell you that this is so untrue. So untrue.
Please enlighten us.
It's not FEMA or the Red Cross that is getting resources and information to people. It's Firestorm Co-op and Beloved Asheville and the Pansy Collective. It's my neighbor down the street who is providing Starlink for the neighborhood so that we can contact our loved ones, so that we can apply for assistance.
Wait a second. You just raised $5,000 on your GoFundMe, and I'm sure you weren't able to get an apartment because that had just happened right before the hurricane. So what gives, Roger? Where's the $5,000? Cough it up, little man. I need answers!
It's my neighbor whose sister keeps bringing me water because I can't do it because of my arthritis.
Okay, so you can't walk next door. Your arthritis is bad enough that you can't walk next door. I'm gonna let you in on a secret, Roger. I have 2 family members that have arthritis. One of them is 84 years old and is fully able to walk next door. He has to use a cane to do it, but he can walk next door. So how is it a young strapping lad like yourself can't, with arthritis, find it within yourself to walk next door for water? You're telling me even water you can't walk next door for? You're either next level lazy or you're lying.
It's my neighbor who keeps bringing me bananas.
Bananas. Why are we laughing?
It's each other. It's the local restaurants that are providing food. That is the reason why I am fed. It's not big organizations. And honestly, the big organization that is here and is doing some really amazing work is World Central Kitchen. But the only reason why they're able to operate is because they organize locally.
Locally! I don't even know what you're going on about, Roger. What is the matter with you? You know, FEMA could probably be more helpful if they weren't worried about MAGA signs in front of people's houses. If FEMA were actually doing what it was supposed to do. How about with all your organization, you stop worrying about what's going on in Israel, what's going on in Gaza. Why don't you stop worrying about that and instead actually start worrying about what's going on locally? Because I know you're trying to say that there's all these organizations that are really helping you, and I'm sure that they are to a certain degree, but I'm sure that the Red Cross and FEMA could also be very valuable resources. So how about when you're sitting on your ass, since your neighbor is letting you use their Starlink and you've got internet access clearly, why don't you start pounding the keys about that or making videos about that instead of trying to tell us how great it is in this utopian society that we all know doesn't exist, or you wouldn't have been asking us for $5,000. Well, technically you were asking us for $15,000 and then you ended up settling on $5,000, which I'm convinced was your plan from the beginning. The old tell him I need this number so that I get this number instead. So I think that's why you said you needed $15,000 was because really you wanted $5,000. And so if they tapped at $5,000, then you got your $5,000, and you definitely did get your $5,000. So I feel almost like you should be a life coach.
Because they get people together to feed each other. Because it literally is based on volunteering and mutual aid.
We've talked about this before, Roger. You seem to have a real problem with the mutual part of mutual aid. It really does just seem to be aid with you. And I'm sure if that's the way you were living before the hurricane happened, I'm sure you were a real victim after the hurricane happened.
And also, by the way, this ain't my first rodeo, y'all.
Roger, shut up. This ain't my first rodeo, y'all.
This is my third.
They say the third is the charm.
This is the second time that I have been in a 1 in 1,000 year chance storm. And it's the third time that I've watched the place that I lived go either up in flames or underwater.
Tell us the up in flame story, or tell us the underwater story. Why don't you tell us one of the heroic stories and exactly what you went through? How is it you've completely skipped over that part, Roger? And I promise you guys, there was no video posted before this, and really I've been waiting for him to post one that just let us know how the hurricane was between now and then. And that's the reason I didn't get to doing this video so long, was because I was like, eventually he's got to tell us about the experience of the hurricane, right? Apparently not with Roger.
Third time, and I'm telling you, every single time, it's not big organizations or the government that saves us, it's each other. I promise you, it's each other.
We got it, Roger. You mooched off your neighbors. So then some people had the same question I did, and somebody hit him up with, what have you done to help your community? Fair question, since we're always talking about mutual aid. You told us what the Pansy Collective did for you. You told us about your neighbor up the street with the internet. You told us about your neighbor's sister with the bananas. You told us about your neighbor with the water. So it is fair to ask, in this system that you're proposing of mutual aid, to let us know what it is you did.
I got a lot of comments like this on my last video, and it is a really good example of why capitalism and mutual aid just can't exist in the same space.
Okay, well, we're in the United States, and this is a capitalist society, and it's not going to change just because you want it to. So how about you stop complaining about the systems in place and just tell us, since you're obviously living independent of that and doing things your own way, and it works out so perfect, just get to the mutual aid part. Don't talk to us about capitalism. Get to the mutual aid part.
Because questions like this ask you, what did you do to earn your keep?
And that's exactly what we want to know. We're all on the same page. Now, hit it, Max.
And mutual aid operates on a foundation of knowing that people are inherently worthy of care.
Okay, so I'm going to take from that you did nothing.
It's also really frustrating that people are more worried about whether I earned my food and water after a hurricane than the fact that people don't have access to food and water after a hurricane.
Don't deflect, Roger. We've been trying to get you to take some kind of accountability for months now. I know I'm at least a year deep into your saga. So basically, we're doing an accountability wellness check on you right now and trying to figure out what is it that you do contribute to anything. Because it all looks pretty much just like take from the outside, and that's why complete strangers that may have never heard of you before that first video are wondering what exactly you did.
I don't walk an hour and a half every day to get food for me and my neighbors because it's the only hot meal that a lot of us get.
Okay, so just on the last video, which was basically the day before, you could not walk next door to get water or bananas, but now you walk every day an hour and a half. I think this is what the kids call cap, Roger. I would say this is not only cap, I would say it's all cap, bro.
Because I want something from them. It's because I want them to have a hot meal.
Technically, if you're telling the truth about your stories, you should be doing it because it is earning your keep. If you are in fact walking an hour and a half and it's supposed to be mutual aid, that would be your part of the mutual if you were actually doing that. Now, I think you're starting to get the idea, even though it hasn't exactly started to sink in for you. But if they're giving you water and bananas and internet, and in exchange for all that, you can bring some food every once in a while, because I'm sure you're not walking an hour and a half every day. You just don't strike me as the type to be that motivated.
And that's what I can do. It's hard for me, but it's what I can do. I'm not donating 10% of everything from my shop to the Pansy Collective because the Pansy Collective has personally helped me.
Roger, can you stop bullshitting about that shop? You weren't able to do anything from your shop before the hurricane happened. I very seriously doubt that you were able to get materials and have your arms work. And why haven't we talked about your arms yet? In the last couple of videos, you've been all about your arms, how you don't have any working arms, and here you are not mentioning a single thing about your arms, but we know about the arthritis in your legs that makes it so you can't get up and go to the neighbor's house for water, Roger. You can't get water.
They haven't, not at all, but they're helping members of our community that are in way more dire situations than I am.
I think you're a scam enough that everybody's in way more dire situations than you are. Or I should say, way more dire situations than you are for the last at least year.
Y'all need to stop being worried about whether I've earned my water and start being worried about the fact that North Carolina and
Wait a second, you've got a lot of nerve, young lady, telling us that we shouldn't worry about where you're getting anything when you're asking us for money all the time. So if you're gonna constantly be asking for money, then we can ask what it is you're doing to earn your keep, even in the most dire of times. Which again, is nothing, Roger.
The surrounding communities have been stranded and left to die by our government and by large organizations. They are not reaching our people. That is a problem. Stop asking whether or not people deserve water and start asking why the fuck they're not getting it. Are you kidding me?
Okay, are you kidding me? I know this technique, Roger. We've all in our past lives had shitty roommates that tried to act outraged when they were just being asked for their part of the rent or their part of the electric bill. If they had eaten some of your stuff out of the refrigerator or the pantry. We've all met these people that instead of just coughing up the information and saying what they've done, instead act like they can't believe that you would be this insensitive and this worried about something so trivial.
Are you kidding me? This pisses me off. Stop tally marking your relationships. Your relationships are not here as an exchange. Your relationships are not here as some sort of weird transaction.
Says the person that's always asking for money. I don't know if you realize it or not, Roger, and I'm beginning to wonder if you know what words mean altogether. And I've said this on other videos to do with you, but I don't feel like you know what words mean. Like mutual means it's a two-way street. That's what mutual means in the most basic way possible. So when you're trying to tell me that that's not the meaning of mutual, and then also when you're saying stop looking at relationships as some sort of weird transaction, well, Venmo is a transaction. GoFundMe is a transaction. Those are third-party transactional platforms and sites. So what are you talking about? You have parasocial transactional relationships. That's what you have going on. So stop acting like we're out of line for just wondering what your part of the mutual in mutual aid is. I don't even think it's mutual aid, to tell you the truth. I think we pronounced it the wrong way the whole time, and it's really mutual aid. I think that's what Roger means to say, is it's mutual aid. And that's where you do absolutely nothing, and people just bring you things like you're some sort of queen bee.
Start creating connections with people, y'all. Start treating people like actual people. It's really not that hard.
Okay, Roger, well, you're the one treating everybody like a piggy bank, so I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about. All right, well, to be honest with you guys, that's about as much of Roger as I can take in one sitting. There is an update, and I will be posting that very soon because there's a fair amount of Roger news, and I'll be back with that. But this is enough for one episode. If you guys want to see more of my content, click either one of the videos on your screen right now. Thank you for watching. As always, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.